All right, family, what's up? It is your boy, Coach Coide, for another episode of the Hello Love podcast. This is season 2, and I've been so excited about having this person on. It's crazy how God works. I actually met her on my job and found out how creative she was, and everything that's transpired since the moment I met her. Things have been moving for her.
Yeah.
So excited about what's been taking place in her life, y'all. You know, I'm a whole love and relationship coach, and she's found love in the process of me meeting her. So please, I call you Miss Smith now, right?
Yes, you can.
Miss
Thank
Smith,
you.
Can you introduce yourself and tell the people a little bit about who Miss Smith is?
Yes, well, my name is Charisma Smith, and I am 53 years old, and I love to do all kinds of crafts. And like Cody said, we met on the job, and he knows the love of my family, and he knows, you know, the person that I am. And I was looking for someone that was like me. And, you know, we would always talk about relationship stuff and love, and, you know, how things are different nowadays, and, you know, people are looking for different things. And, you know, that was one thing that we would always talk about on a regular. And it was funny because when I met my husband, I came in and I told him and one of our other coworkers, Vincent, and they were both like, "Oh, this is it. This is it. If he's the right one, he will know right from the beginning." Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Wow, okay," because my granddad was the only other man that had ever said that to me. Mm. That when a man knows, he knows. And so yeah, that's how that all happened.
Okay. We're gonna try to tap into that a little bit further into the episode, but you just went right in. The love, y'all. Love will make you go there. I love it. I do remember you talking about it. And it's crazy because when we met, I think y'all had just started communicating at the time.
Yep.
And this is a mighty man right here.
Yes,
y'all.
He is. You know, he is. God sent him to me, definitely.
He was definitely God sent. You know, he was definitely God sent.
Yes.
You know, in the environment we were in.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Perfect timing.
Yes. And swooped me out of there and told me, hey, you don't need to go back there. Like, you know, he wants me treated a certain way, and he treats me a certain way. He doesn't allow anybody else to treat me any differently. Is very strong in his faith about that. And just women, when you are praying for someone, I tell you from experience, pray with conviction and be very specific.
Yes. People tell me that all the time too, like be specific. Very
specific, because up until now, before I met Ronell, I was not specific. I would just ask for, you know, I want a partner. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you can get a partner in just about anybody, but do you want a supportive partner?
Right.
Do you want an uplifting partner? Do you want a partner that understands? Do you want a partner that listens? All those things are very important to list, you know? So yeah, I got exactly what I asked for. I asked for a rock. I asked for a manly man. That's what my granddad used to call them, manly men. And I definitely got him.
You said a rock. Is that the rock?
Oh, yeah, that's the rock, too. No, but...
And she got a rock, too. So what is she saying? Pray for a rock. Y'all.
Yeah, pray for a rock.
So I want to dive into these questions. We have gotten, we've gotten comfortable now.
Oh, yeah,
We've talked about your husband.
Yes.
Another fun fact, being in the military.
Yes.
Growing up as a military brat, later in servicing in the Air Force yourself, how was that shaped your value and your perspective in life?
Wow. So I always say I was born into the military, and I believe that had a lot to do with who I am as a person. Working with me, you know that I'm very structured, yes. Very driven. That I got from my parents. And that is something that I think the younger generation of people need to understand, that you have to be the drive within. Mm-hmm. You can't look for something outside to drive you. And, as a teenager, I was overseas, and learned a lot of things, was included in a lot of things, debate team, chess club, cheerleading, track. I did all of that as a military brat, but I was able to travel to different places and meet different people and learn more about diversity and inclusion, so nothing is scary to me, as far as, anybody's background, religion, culture, any of that stuff. So I think being a military brat, that helped, but also transitioning to actually military myself, it helped because I already had the discipline, the structure, all of that the military looks for.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people who have been in the military tell me all the time, like that becomes a foundation for
life.
For life.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
And like you said, I noticed that working with you, that you're very like military structure.
Yeah.
You say like we got a lot of work done, y'all.
Yeah,
Like, with
well,
everything in place.
And that's the thing. Like I'm a different person in the work environment than I am in home. And I think a lot of young women get confused in that. My role at work was to be a manager, take care of my business at work, be the boss, do what I had to do. And I have no problem doing that. But I'm a totally different person at home. And I know how to flip-flop that. And you don't have to be one or the other.
Right.
That's what a lot of people don't understand. You can still be a boss at work and handle your business, do what needs to be done, be a leader, but at home, be able to be that feminine, loving, nurturing, humble woman that God made us. God made us to be that, and so I think there's a lot of confusion a lot of times with younger women about that,
I agree. I had an interview with my godmom, and she's a pastor, and she does all this women empowerment stuff.
Right.
And she was like, but my husband and family come first.
Right.
She said a lot of people would say find balance, but it's more so like what you're prioritizing at the moment. So I'm prioritizing my job from 8 to 3 o'clock.
That's right.
And when I get home, I'm prioritizing my husband, my family.
That's right.
And
exactly.
so it's a big difference. And like I said, I think a lot of the younger women, because I've dated a lot of younger women, you guys,
right?
who get a little twisted,
right?
But it's okay, That's why we have women like Charisma here to,
thank you.
For you guys to watch this episode and take some notes, so you get that rock, so you get that rock and a rock
and a rock, yeah, because he is definitely.
Staying on the military thing, like what was a transition to military service from civil life, like eventually moving into motherhood?
Okay, so the military, I know there's a lot of females that are in the military as moms and spouses. But for me, that was a hard thing for me. Okay. Like I said, there's a definite split for me. As a mom, I'm a mom, and your kids need you to be there. And I know right now, you have both parents working outside of the home and things of that nature. And I've always worked outside of the home on a regular, even with my kids, but there were certain things that I wasn't going to give up. And as a military person, a lot of times you have to leave your children and go to different duty assignments that you can't have them with. And that wasn't something that I was okay with. And that was whenever I decided that I couldn't do that. I couldn't. My heart wouldn't allow it. I needed to be able to work and come home and see my children, and not trust someone else to raise them and to give them the guidance and the support and all of that me as their mom should have been doing. Right. So that was when I made my transition. Okay,
that's good. That's good. Goes back to that prioritizing. You prioritize your family first.
Yeah, I've had to do it a couple of times. I was working for Walmart. I worked for Walmart and Sam's Club for 7.5 years, and moved up the ranks pretty fast. Started off as a temporary cake decorator, and then moved up into management. And I was getting ready to get my own store. And my kids, I came home from work one day and all three of my boys were sitting at the table and they said, we need to have a talk. And I said, okay, let's talk. And they said, you know what, Mom, since you've been doing this position, we don't see you a lot. When you come home, you're tired. You don't cook like you used to. We miss that. And that next day I went and I told them, I'm going back to what I was doing. My children need me. And when they get older and they're able to handle everything else, then I'll come back and look at this. Yeah. But when your kids tell you they need you, that's priceless.
Yeah. Prioritize it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. As a mother of three men, like you just said, and I didn't know this, a grandmother of 5.
Yeah.
Did not know that. What has been the most rewarding part of that journey?
Wow. Growth. Growth. I am big on legacy. I always have told my sons, and I don't want to get all mushy, but I've always told my sons they're the best part of me. So when I leave this world, I'm going to leave the best parts of me in them. And to watch them grow as men and be strong and support their families and their children is like joy every day. And then grandchildren are just you as a mom experiencing your children a second time in a different light. So as a mom, a lot of the things that you're dealing with, you're hustling, bustling. Oh my gosh, this baby is hungry. I got to do this. Oh my goodness, I got to take care of this. As a grandma, I get to step back and look at all those things and slow down. So it really is like watching your kids grow again. And that's an experience that is just the love there that grows in your heart. It's like you think that you couldn't love anything more, but then you have another one and it's just another part of you that grows. And it's like your heart running around outside of your body. And that's the only way that I can explain it. I have 3 men that were my heart, but now I have 5 other little people that came initially from me. Yeah. So, I mean, that's just, I don't know, it's just love.
Love,
yeah.
Somebody was telling me about just leaving legacy, and I don't have kids of my own.
Right.
And they were like, Cody, you just leave a legacy. And I think what happened with that was like I realized like legacy is an amazing thing when you have kids, grandkids, but you also leave a legacy when you make an impression on people.
That's right.
And I say that because, I'm still at the job, but I still see the legacy that Charisma left there.
Oh, thank you.
Through conversation with other people and people who are still like, oh yeah, I talked to Charisma today and da-da-da-da. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And like, you come and visit and you see the legacy when you pull up and like people are just stopping doing what they're doing, like, oh, Charisma's outside.
Yeah, and you know what? That is the difference between a boss and a leader.
Yeah.
And this working with me, I was never one of those people, do what I say, do, handle this, do this. I was always the one, you know what? Come on, let's go look at this. Well, what do you think about this? Why isn't this working? Tell me what problems you have as a person. It's not just about, what corporate wants. These people come and get out of their bed every day. This is what they do. They spend more time with us than they do their family, the people that they love. Give them a chance to say how they feel. Yeah. And what can make their jobs easier. And that's what I did. And a lot of times that's the reason why I leave certain places, because I listen to my people. Yeah. I listen. I put my ear to the floor and I want to feel the pulse. I want to understand why things slowed down, why things didn't work. Yeah. What we can do to make it better. And a lot of people just aren't interested in that anymore.
Yeah. I think that's very impactful because my pastor was always saying there's a difference between you having a relationship and having influence.
That's right.
When you have an influence on a person, it's just like they're only going to do what you want them to do when you're around.
Right.
Like that's it. Like, as soon as, all right, back on my phone. But when you have a relationship, they respect you so much that it's like, even when Charisma is gone, I'm going to do what I know needs to be done because I have a relationship and I respect her that much. So I think that's a powerful thing there. And again, like you, the legacy you left. And I think the funny part about it is, like you said, that's why you leave. But I think leaving, you do leave a legacy behind.
Right.
So you do leave like that part of. I'll talk about your amazing daughter-in-law.
Yes.
Lindsay, like even with her kind of transitioning to certain things, I see a lot of her, a lot of you in her.
Right.
And, I'm just like, oh, look at you growing up.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you know this, but Lindsay was, I was running a restaurant and I met Lindsay. She was my waitress when she was 18. And I met her and she was so timid and so quiet and people would just say whatever to her. And
Lindsay?
it would, yes. And it used to make me so upset. Oh, it would make me so upset. And I would go out and I would say, what seems to be the problem? Let me help you.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to do her job. You're not going to give her a hard time. And she started feeling that support, and when I first came to Pratt, she didn't work there. I brought her there. And she was working at Walmart.com out on the floor. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you really need to come to the office. Like she's a sponge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She absorbs information. So I was feeding her everything, anything that I could do. But that's something that I do with everybody. I pick up stuff. I picked up stuff from you in quality. I fed you stuff in shipping. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do. So yeah, Lindsay has come a long way. I'm very, very proud of her.
Yeah, I'm proud of her too.
Yeah. That's my daughter.
I'm the one that said, I think you're pregnant. No, I'm not, Cody. No, I'm not. Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
Because she don't eat. So when I started seeing her eating 3 or 4 times a day, I was like, Lindsay. She'll bite a sandwich in the morning at 8 o'clock and then won't finish it until
keep moving, yeah.
8 o'clock at night. But shout out to Lindsay. So we talked about, all the different roles you play as a mother, grandmother, wife. How do you balance that?
Ooh, so.
And still nurture your passion?
Well, my passion is calming to me.
Okay.
So, and love isn't always easy. That's what people need to understand. Situations aren't always easy. Loving your family, making yourself available, doing what you need to do, it's not easy to juggle. But I do it because it's a priority for me. I want to make sure that our family has someone to go to ask questions, to get the right information. I feel like, back in the day, Big Mama was the woman that all the women went to and got the information, about whether it was relationship or, rearing children or if health stuff, medication, how, herbal stuff that was passed down from generation to generation. You went to Big Mama. Nowadays, Big Mama is in their 30s. Yeah. And they weren't ever taught the things. So how do they pass on that to the next generation? Yeah. And I believe that has, it's hurt us as a society because we don't have people that in our immediate families that are ready to take on that role and responsibility of direction. And it's not an easy role. Sometimes I have to go in and I have to scold my grandson or my granddaughter and tell them that you knew better than that. Yeah. And tell me why. Yeah. Don't just say that was wrong. Don't just say that that's not something that you need to do. Let me explain to you why. And then you tell me what you heard. Yeah. So balance, some days there isn't a balance. Some days it's all about the family. Yeah. Some days it's all about my husband. But then there are also days where it's all about me. So I mean, you take it and you run. That's what I do. I run with it. And yesterday, perfect example. I thought I was going to have time to wash my dogs and groom my dogs and do all the other stuff needed to be taken care of with my children and my grandchildren. Mm-hmm. And they took precedence. And then when I finished with that, my husband came next. So all that other stuff got pushed to the wayside, But, my passion, this is what calms and feeds that I always, that's my creative beast.
Okay.
So
That's a good way to put it. I know
yeah.
too. I'm a creative. So.
Yeah, it's like some days you just have to say, I'm not doing anything else, but I'm going to feed that part of me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's good. I love that. Again, I think the word for today is going to be prioritize. Like,
Definitely.
what do you prioritize?
Right.
You being drawing and painting since you were 8 years old. What role has creativity played in your life over the years?
Oh yeah.
And I can say this because I was working with you. Like I saw the creativity, even how we worked together. Like you brought creativity there.
Right.
I was like, oh, okay, this is fun.
So, wow. I can remember all the kids coloring in coloring books. And I can remember thinking, I don't see anything I want to color in here. And taking just paper, because my dad always had like copy paper from him. He was military also, my dad. And so I would just draw, doodle, whatever. And that's where that came from. And then always having, my parents did feed that creative part of me. It was never like shut down. Drawing, painting, whatever. I tried pottery, clay. That wasn't my thing. It was too dirty and messy. I didn't like that. But like anything that I wanted to try, they were for it. But the creativity, I think, comes out in my house. I decorate everything. I'm always changing colors, putting together different things. Clothing, like creativity comes in every aspect of me. I change my hair constantly. Like it's just in me. So
I love it. And also with that, like this is another fun fact. And the funny thing, I did not know this either.
what?
That you were a professional cake decorator and a bakery manager. Tell us about your professional cake decorating career.
So it was never meant to be a career. When I got out of the military, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I've always baked and cooked. That's something that came from heritage. Like my family, all the women in my family love to cook and bake. And you don't find many women that do both. And I do both. And so I started working at Walmart as a temporary seasonal cake decorator. And figured I had started decorating when I was 11 at home. And so I had been decorating stuff for a while, but had never done it professionally. So I picked it up there and flew with it. 3 months after being a cake decorator, I was offered the bakery management position. And I said, why not? Let's go with it. So that happened for almost 17 years. Like I ran bakeries and cafes. But the cake decorating thing fed my creativity every single day because I was able to draw on cakes where other decorators weren't able to do that. They could do flowers, they could put the picks in there, they could do the kits. But I actually could say, hey, Cody, you like refrigerators and Dale Earnhardt? Let me make you a refrigerator with Dale Earnhardt stuff on it. You know what I'm saying? So I was able to offer a more customized, personal cake.
Okay.
And that made me in high demand because I could do that. So that was just another way that I was able to direct my creativity into something that was lucrative.
Okay, I like it. Just interested.
Yeah.
What is the most memorable custom cake that you've made, and why?
Okay, so I have to say two. There was one, it was a couple that I sat with for about 2 hours. They were getting married, and they were going to have a small wedding, but a large reception. And so they were trying to figure it out. They had gone through all these books and none of them, I mean, some of them they liked. They were trying to piece the cake together. And I was like, okay, let's just talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, so what do y'all like to do? Oh, we play board games. Oh, well, what kind of board games do you play? Well, we like Scrabble and we like Sorry and we play chess. And I was like, no way. Listen to what you just said. And they're like, okay, we're lost.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no, your wedding cake should be about y'all.
Yeah.
So why not make it about board games? And then chess, it has a king and a queen. So that would be at the top.
Okay.
So one layer was Scrabble. And I made the little Scrabble pieces with their names. And then the date that they had met, that was on the bottom. And then the middle was Sorry board with the little Sorry pieces. And then on the top was the king and the queen from the chess.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's such a creative.
So that was one. And then the second one, I had a 5-year-old little girl that came in. And I remember her. Her name was Kelly with an I. She kept telling me that. It's Kelly with an I. And I was like, okay. And she said, I want a mermaid cake. And I was like, that's not a problem. And her mom was like, okay. And she kept saying, but, and her mom kept saying, no, Kelly, a mermaid cake is fine. That's what we're going to do. And, you don't want to get in between a mom and a child. But I'm like, okay, well, what is Kelly trying to say? So I asked her mom, I said, well, is there something else that Kelly wants that that we might want to talk about? And she was like, well, she likes pirates. I was like, oh, that's cool. Like mermaids and pirates, that's perfect. She was like, you think so? And I was like, yeah. I said, well, can I talk to her for a minute? She said, yeah. So we sat down and I said, so tell me what you want. She's like, oh, well, I want a ship and I want a skull with the pirate flag. And then I want the treasure mark where the treasure's going to be. And I was like, I can do it. She's like, you can do it? Yep. Come back and you'll have it. Mm-hmm. So I did a double layer cake. On one side was her mermaids, and they were actually like little Polly Pocket mermaids I had put on there. So it was like water, mermaids. The whole cake was water, but I actually used sand, graham cracker crumbs as the sand. And then on the other side of the cake was a pirate ship with the skull and the crossbone, and then actually the dots that went all the way up to the top. And the X marked the spot, and that's where her 5 was for where she was going to turn 5.
I love it.
And so when she came in, the look on her face was priceless. Like when you talk to somebody and you're able to bring their imagination, what they have in their head, to life, it's a gift. Yeah. So
that's definitely a gift.
Yeah. So
I do a lot of flyers and stuff too. So when I hear people and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And when I send them, I'm like, oh, you
that was perfect. Yeah,
so
exactly.
Like, but I'll give it to you with the cake thing. I don't know. Little Kelly would have just had a name with Kelly on that with me.
She was so happy when she came in. I didn't know if that cake was going to make it home. Because she was, you're 5, and
so
it's like she wanted to play with it. And I was like, Lord, this cake is going to end up in the floor somewhere.
So this isn't one of my questions. It's kind of like just something I thought about. Like, how does that creativity come out of you? Like, when you hear these things, like, what is it that triggers charisma to be like, boom, 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 boom?
All I can say is that's my God gift. Like, it really is. Like, that, if I hear it or can imagine it, I can put it on something. And just like if you've ever seen anybody do cakes, a lot of people use an overhead if they're going to draw something on. Mm-hmm. I don't have to do that. As far as sizing, somehow that's one of my God's gifts. He embedded in me to where I can take something and literally see it this big and make it that big. Mm-hmm. And it's just the way that I was perfectly constructed. That's the only way that I can, that's the part of me that I feel is, when I talk about my God, that's the part of me that I feel is closest to him. Mm-hmm. Because I look at some of the things that I can do and I know that that's the only place it could have come from.
Right.
You know, my mom says all the time she couldn't draw a stick figure, but my mom is a seamstress, and she can actually take a paper bag and make a pattern.
Mm.
So her creativity came out that way. But so that also means that came from her,
Yeah.
from me, you know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that I can't explain it. It's just that was my God's gift.
That's what's up. That's what's
Yeah.
up. You talk like just hearing you talk like two things I've noticed that you light up when you talk about your creativity, and you also light up when you talk about your family.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So how do you intentionally create this connection, this legacy with your family? Because a lot of people, and this is just for the people watching, because I know it's a lot of people out here, and we kind of digging into another vein here, but a lot of people desire that with their families.
Right.
So if you could give like some, or just from your personal life, like what is something that you do to intentionally create that connection and legacy with your family on a regular?
I listen.
Go out? Okay.
Yeah, I
Listen is
listen.
good.
I listen. I've listened. I can tell you what each one of my kids' favorite food is, what they like to do on a regular basis. I can look at them and tell them when they need downtime. Still learning a lot about my grandkids because they're growing, you know. But I can tell you the same about them. Like I know, so it's taking the time, like you said, priority. I take the time to watch. I take the time to listen. A lot of times it doesn't have to come from words. I cook a lot, and that's love for me. A lot of times if I feel like that there's a struggle going on, I may not hit it head first. I may kind of backdoor it with, hey, you know, I cooked this and I brought this, give y'all some downtime to kind of not have to worry about that, you know? So I try to be supportive, loving, and thoughtful in the process, but not be overbearing. And I think that people equate being supportive being overbearing. I don't have to know all your business. As a couple, you shouldn't want to do that. That's something that's personal, and that's something that you share with your partner. But people are going to see it. I could tell when you came in and you had a bad day. I can tell when my children have bad days. I can tell when something's bothered them. I can tell when there's tension. You know? So my job isn't always to come in and say, hey, you did that wrong, or you shouldn't have said that to her, or you shouldn't have said that to him, or you shouldn't have done this. My job is to just say, hey, how about let's back up off of this part so y'all don't have to think about this today. How about we take the kids on Saturday, give y'all some time. You know, sometimes it's just that little bit of downtime where you can take a nap or breathe or go have a date night or have a coffee or, you know. So yeah, that's where I
kind of leads me right into this next question. In what ways do you feel your role as a wife supports the love and the partnership in your marriage?
Okay, so my thought is my husband gets up every day and he fights a fight when he walks out the door of our house. He's a black man in America. I'm just going to be real. And I want him to want to come home, to want to be safe, have a safe place, have a sounding board. Being a mother of 3 men, you know, I hear a lot of, you know, that. So I wanted my husband to feel any support that he could want in any way. And so he fights that fight out there. He shouldn't have to fight a fight in his house. You know, he should be able to walk in the house and say, hey, babe, I need A, B, and C, and it shouldn't be an argument.
Yeah.
He should be able to walk in and take a shower and go to sleep if that's what he wants to do. I am his partner, his peace, and his soft place to lay his head. You know what I'm saying? And I take that very serious. Like, I take my marriage very serious. He deserves respect, and he needs to be heard. And I believe a lot of times with men, that's what I've always heard, is that before they could even tell you what they want, you're trying to tell them what you don't want, you know, or what you won't do. And I didn't want my husband to have to go through any of that. Yeah. And he won't go through any of that as long as he's with me.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I think what I took away from that, just being a safe place.
Yeah.
Being a black man, I know for a fact, like, there's a lot of stuff that if I don't feel safe, I'm just not going, I'm not going to do it. My pastor was talking about just, since I've been to church, a lot of black men have started to, like, flourish at the church, like, that's come awesome. There and grow and mature. And he was like, I'm not going to bash y'all for not, doing this or doing that. He said, because I want this to be a safe place. And when they come into a safe place, again, it goes back to the relationship thing. Like, because now I have a relationship with them, I don't have to tell them to be a good man or be a good husband. They just naturally know, like, hey, here's the example. As a relationship I have, I'm going to do that. But I think that the key is just being a safe place.
Right.
And I think you being a safe place for him allows him to be an even better black man.
Oh, my gosh.
I think, what is the song when it was like, love can even make you stay out all night long or come home early?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's a true statement.
Right.
As a 36-year-old man, I was like, yeah, the right love will make you either stay out all night long or come home early.
Well, that's right. And I want him to come home.
Yeah.
I want him to know that when he comes home, he's not going to deal with any craziness. Yeah. He takes very good care of me. Yes. And I want to make sure that I take very good care of him in the same, and different ways, but the same.
Yeah, I love it. And he definitely does. Like, even the time frame I know him, like, he was always, like, there.
Oh, yeah.
So I commend him as a black man, because we it's hard out here for a black man.
Yeah, it is.
It's hard. So continuing on with talking about family, what legacy do you hope you can leave your children and grandchildren to carry on with life?
Hard work. Understanding, listening. I want to be remembered as the love, whether it was that hard love or that soft love. I was both. And I need, that's what my need is, for them to remember and to hold dear in their heart that love. Like, that's the only thing that I can say. When I think about them, that's all that I feel. That's all that I see. Yeah. Everything that I do is just about that love.
Yeah. So. That's good. That's good. So looking back, what advice would you give a younger woman who is juggling purpose, passion, and family?
Give yourself grace. We are our hardest critics.
Yes.
In your heart, if you know that you're doing all that you can do, just give yourself grace. Because I have beat myself up, not feeling like I've done enough, or I could have done more, or I could have made a different decision. But now looking back, all those decisions, whether it was a positive or a negative, helped me grow, helped me learn, helped me see things. I don't think if I hadn't have failed at some things that I wouldn't be as good as I am at other things. It makes you, sometimes failure will make you strive harder in that direction, but sometimes it'll make you back up and say, you know what, maybe that's not the direction for me. Maybe I need to try to go over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I did. And in my life, I have done a little bit of everything. You know what? Thinking back on the question that you just asked, legacy, I have had all kinds of jobs. I have done all kinds of things and never shied away. If somebody told me, hey, you know, this is your job title, but we want you to do this, I'm going to go learn that. You know why?
Yeah.
Because that's a notch over here that later on I might need,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So always be willing to learn too.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people were quick to say that's not my job.
Yep.
It's not my job. I'm not getting paid for that. Okay, well, you're getting paid. So whether I'm sweeping with a broom or I'm sitting at a computer, you're still cutting me a check for the same amount, right?
Mm-hmm.
So learn. Take whatever you can get, because in this world you never know when you're going to need it. And I've used it all. I have laid siding. I have put siding on the side of buildings. Wrapped Tyvek, bent metal. I've done all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Scrubbed grills. I mean, I've done everything. And never did I ever say, no, that's not my job.
Right.
You know? So, I don't know. Just be a little more flexible and give yourself grace. Because just because you're standing there today doesn't mean that's where you'll be tomorrow.
Yeah. That's good. That's really, really good. You know?
Thank you.
I always used to say, when Lindsay was telling me all the stuff you did, I was like, what? Christmas fried planes? What? Dry spaceships too?
Oh my goodness. I've done a lot. I've done a lot in my lifetime, and it's a blessing. It's definitely a blessing that, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure everything that you did, again, we talk about legacy, like leaving a legacy in all that. Because again, like I just said, just the legacy you left at our job is crazy. You know, like you're here because of that job.
Right,
you know?
exactly.
And after I saw all this stuff you were doing, I was like, and I'm all about like pushing other people's gifts and talents.
I appreciate
that. So I was like, oh, the world has to hear about this. Like, the world has to hear about this. That being said, we just want to talk about some of the creative things that you have done. Like your jackets and stuff are amazing.
Thank you.
As y'all see, I don't have my traditional roses here because she.
That is my bouquet.
Yes, and she made this.
Yes.
So like, how long did it take you to make this? Or was this like a?
It took me about a day and a half.
Okay.
Okay. Yep, and that's just one of those things where I was like, you know what, this is what I want, and I'm gonna make it. And with the support of my husband, I said, look, there's only a few things that I want when we get married, and I wanted this bouquet. And he was like, okay, get what you need to get.
And she made it.
Yeah.
And she made it. So let's just talk about some of these pieces. I know when you came in, you were telling me like what this is actually from.
Right.
What it's all about.
Okay, so this is my native jacket. My grandfather, my heritage is Cherokee, Irish, and Blackfoot Indian. And my grandfather, my living room is done as to for my granddad. Like I have a whole bunch of Indian dream catchers and things of that nature. So of course I had to make one jacket, and this one, and there's only one other one. My niece actually has it, Jakayla, and I made it for her too. But hers says Native on the top. Okay. But that was one of the first ones that I made, and I do all kinds. Anything that I can draw, I can put on a jacket. This is made with fabric paint, so it's not crispy.
Okay.
It won't flake off, so when you wash it, it'll still be on there. Yeah. Okay. And the colors are very vibrant. I did that. This jacket's probably a year and a half old, and it doesn't look it. This one probably about a year. This is my take on Harlequin and the Joker. And like I said, I have done all different kinds. I started out doing them for gifts for my family.
Okay.
You know, something different to give for, holidays or whatever. And then ended up being something that I could do, like I said, my creativity became lucrative this way. So
I love it.
Yeah, thank you.
Such a creative individual. Like,
thank you.
Because if I had a day, there's gonna be 2 eyes. Here you go.
No. And I'm getting ready to go into memorials, and
Okay.
I'm actually working on one for my husband,
Okay.
for his mom, and that'll be something that I'm gonna get into this year.
Okay.
So something a little different.
Okay.
And I want to work on one with my grandkids' faces on them for me.
Okay.
So I think that would be something that, would probably spark some interest for
Yes. Yeah.
for some people. So
Especially nowadays.
Yeah.
Something that people can carry on their back, literally on their back.
yeah,
everywhere
exactly,
they go.
with them all the time,
Yeah.
and have that person close to them. So that's something that I'm definitely going to be working on.
So this is the special moment. This is the moment where everybody tends to sat with me for a whole hour or something, and then all of a sudden now everybody gets nervous. Tell the people, your camera right here, tell the people how they can connect with you, how they can get connected, all your forms of social media,
Awesome.
everything that you have. This is your moment.
Okay, awesome. You can connect with me on Facebook or on Instagram. Both handles are Charisma Creations. It's with a K. Charisma Creations with a K. And like I said, when I post things on Facebook, it automatically posts to my Instagram. But you can connect with me. Both of them are public. So you don't have to friend me. You can. I have no problem with that. But also you can find videos on TikTok under NC Cutie Pie.
With you being a creative, I was spending so much more. Like, then I have a website. And
No, I would rather just
store.
handle it that way. Yeah.
I love it. Thank you again for coming.
No
I
problem.
appreciate you. I've always appreciated the friendship. I was telling, I almost said my girlfriend. Nobody's supposed to know I have one. But I was just telling her about you, and I was like, yeah, she's been like, she's lucky, like, that auntie that, it's like, keep going. I have somewhere else to be now, so
Right.
have fun. I'll come back and visit y'all.
Exactly. Yeah.
But thank you for coming.
Oh my gosh, always, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
Y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video out. Connect with her.
Thank you.
Again, me being a love coach, relationship coach, all this stuff is going to play a tremendous role in my life soon. Because, you were my...
Hey, that's it. And I do wedding jackets.
Yes,
I did my Miss Smith jacket. I did. So, I do future for the fiance, so they can have, I'm the future, Miss whatever. And then once you are married, the Miss whatever the last name. So definitely let me know. I got you.
Love it. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. Correct.
Connect.
Check that out. Connect with Charisma.
Definitely.
Please.
Thank you.
Again, I'm all about like supporting people. I need y'all to like overwhelm her with work.
Oh,
okay?
That would be wonderful. Thank you.
Overwhelm her with work. So again, thank you for tuning in. This has been another episode, and we will see y'all on the next episode.
Yes. Thank you, Cody.
You are so welcome. Thank you.
Operates is, people call me a prophetess, but I'm just being used by God whenever he used